You're listening to Brandon Sports Talk, interviewing professional athletes and Paralympians and Olympians. And now for your professional athlete interview and your host, Brandon P.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the USA Paralympian Wheelchair Basketball, Brian Bell. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Brendan?
I'm doing wonderful. Can you tell us about how you knew that you wanted to get started in competing and playing in wheelchair basketball?
So after I got injured, I wanted to kind of get back to like the normal things that I all love to do. That was basketball, football, back when I was in home in Alabama. So I decided to, after I got my prosthetic, decided to play football because football is big in the state of Alabama. So I played middle school football on my prosthetic because I just love being active. It was very, very tough having a prosthetic. So I was able to find wheelchair basketball by going to the Lakeshore Foundation. That's Paralympic and Olympic training facility in Birmingham, Alabama. And I went to like a Saturday summer camp, and they were able to let me try all different types of Paralympic sports. And I just fell in love with basketball and just stuck with it.
What was it like going to the University of Illinois to compete in wheelchair basketball?
It was amazing, amazing opportunity to compete for USA Illinois for basketball, especially when I went there. Coach Frogley was kind of known for being the best coach around. And that was kind of one of the main reasons why I wanted to go there was to kind of get coached by the next best coach, and then maybe up my game a little bit more. So then I could ultimately down the road make a national team, be one of the best players in the sport if I can by taking his advice, taking his feedback and wisdom.
How was that feeling like getting to put on your uniform for the University of Illinois and going to the national championship?
It was awesome, especially being my freshman year. It was awesome to kind of just take it all in, being in that atmosphere, seeing how much like the fan base just loves sports in general. And they kind of took to wheelchair basketball, and it's grown so much even to this day. That it's so much of a fan base now with the wheelchair sports in the collegiate in space. So when I was back then, it was just an awesome feeling, awesome to be on a collegiate court and playing and represent one of the top universities in the Midwest.
Coming out of college, what was it like getting started in playing for Team USA?
It was great. I would say that, like I mentioned before, was I got cut from a few teams early on. I got cut for Beijing right when I started university, my freshman year, and then after that, I worked really hard during college to try to maybe make the London team, and barely missed it. And then I decided that it was time for maybe me to kind of change up things, go professional, play against the best in the world overseas, and then hopefully be able to make a national team. But ultimately, it was amazing actually finally making that team and being able to represent my country.
How's that like going overseas and getting to play professional wheelchair basketball?
Playing professional basketball, it was great. I just wish that we had something like that in the US. But in terms of like preparing yourself for that next stage, next step in your career growth, I feel like it's must needed for all players if they want to potentially make a national team, potentially play against the best in the world because all the best players go play up in Europe. So if you want to do that, you want to get better, you want to compete against the best, then you definitely should do that.
How did your time overseas playing professional wheelchair basketball help you into making the Team USA team for the first time?
Like I said, it's just playing against the best, practicing, making basketball literally 24/7. My priority, just staying in the gym, just grinding out and working on all of my fundamental things, my weaknesses, specifically, and just getting better and better, fine tuning the small little details that I can in my game. So then I could take it back to the national team, make it, and then contribute to any type of success that we have.
Of course, once you made the Team USA team, what was that feeling like receiving your jersey and having the US words on it?
It was just so surreal, just being named to that first team, especially after so many times previous getting cut to finally actually make it, to finally actually wear that jersey, put it on. It was just so much pride representing your country on the world stage. So I knew at that moment that I finally accomplished one of my goals from beginning day one of like starting wheelchair basketball. But again, that was just only part of it, and the next part of it was also winning, which I was actually fortunate to do as well.
How was it like going to the Pan American Games in 2007 and bringing back a gold medal?
It was a stepping stone. I knew we had a great team. I know that it took some time to kind of work together, to get the gelling together and that chemistry with new players. But ultimately, we did well. The players that we had around us played extremely well, played hard, and we knew that from that day on, we needed to kind of set a good statement and tone. That we need to start building towards the ultimate goal, and that's a gold medal in the Paralympics in Rio.
What was that first moment that you went to the Paralympics? What was that feeling like the first time you went to the Paralympics?
The first time I went to the Paralympics, once we landed, just seeing like how many staff and how many people are involved in like the basic organizational side of it, just how many people are running around, getting your bags, making sure that everyone's where they need to be in terms of like team staff, just how much goes into like organizing something like that, and then also just being in all the venues, especially our venue, the basketball on gym, just how big it was, especially when we played Brazil, the host team, how many fans were there and how loud it was. It was just amazing.
Of course, getting your Paralympic jersey, what was that feeling like seeing the Argonauts symbols on your first jersey?
Yeah, it was just so surreal. It's just amazing feeling. It's like one of those things that is one in a lifetime most of the time to kind of make a team like this. And then once you actually able to accomplish it at that moment, you don't think it's real, but you come back down to earth and then you realize that yes, you did all this hard work to get there. Now it's time to like represent your country in the best light as possible on the world stage.
During your first Paralympics, what was some of your favorite memories and moments competing?
I think just being able to play together with the team that we had, like we were just such a close knit group of guys. Like we loved each other to death. Like we always battled during practice, of course, always got into it, but that was just good. But we're always at the end of the day, when we got off the court, always brothers, always friends, family to the end. But having that competitive nature and also that chemistry and camaraderie on and off the court was just exactly what we needed to accomplish a goal that we did.
How did you take what you learned from your first Paralympics to help you to make your second Paralympics to go to Tokyo?
It just, especially keeping over the same coaching staff, it's just basically fine tuning. We knew going into Rio that everyone loves to target USA. They always bring their best game. So then after winning one, it was intensified even more so, times 10, you would say. So we just knew that we had to work even harder. We knew that other teams are going to follow suit, see what we've been doing to accomplish our goal in Rio, and then try to imitate it and try to catch up to us. So for Tokyo, we tried our best to keep improving, keep steadily increasing our potential and our opportunity to win. And as you saw in Tokyo, Japan, they played us really, really well in the final game, and it could have gone any way towards the end of those couple minutes. But it just shows you how much the world saw how well we did last time and has caught up since then.
While at Rio, what were some of your favorite memories and moments competing, and what was it like getting to travel around Rio?
Some of my greatest minutes competing is just playing. I would say playing against some of the guys that I either played with internationally when I was over in Europe or played against. It was just a cool to actually know everyone on that level at the world stage, and being able to like go to like something like that that's so globally watched, and also having all these connections already formed on and off the court, not just with my team, but like with other people and players, staff members, whoever, from other countries as well. It's pretty cool.
How did your time playing internationally before making the Team USA team help you to when you were at Rio competing nationally?
I think it just intensified my awareness and my competitive drive because I knew most of the people that I was playing against. I played with them or against them over in Europe, so I knew everyone well. I knew everyone's kind of tendencies, so it helped my game overall in terms of defending those guys because I knew exactly what they wanted to do, and I knew what worked well against them because I played against them or played with them in Europe.
After Rio, what were some of the things that you worked on to make you the team to go to Tokyo?
I think things that we worked on after real would be keeping true to our DNA and also our defensive focus. We always like even lead up to Rio, we always talked about and harped about our defense. So we knew that like other teams are going to try to come back faster and stronger than us. So we try to maintain that after Rio leading to Tokyo and want to maintain that defensive focus, that hunger on defense to not let the opponents be able to score, not even move at times. And that's the kind of main focal point that we try to push into leading into Tokyo.
What were some of your favorite memories and moments making that team to go to Tokyo and competing at Tokyo?
It was great, especially after it got postponed. Thinking that maybe they might just cancel it altogether and maybe just skip this one, especially because at that time I didn't know I was going to continue on or what I was going to do. So I was so happy and so glad once they said it was just moved and postponed. And then we actually got together, got named to the team again. Amazing feeling as always. It's always an honor to get named to the USA team. I never take it for granted because you never know what's going to happen. Like I said, I've got cut before, especially for London. I thought I played well and I thought I could have easily gone. So you just never know. So it's after then, I've always not taken it for granted and always cherished that time when I do make a team. And then I try to give my all to the team for our whole common goal.
Of course, getting cut from the London team, how did that prepare you to make your two Paralympic teams? And what were some of the things that you did to prepare after being cut from London?
I think it just intensified my hunger even more. I knew I was hungry to make a national team, but then after making a national team, after you thought you did really well to make it at that time, it just intensified even more. And that was the main reason why I went overseas. I feel like I just needed to prove myself playing against, the best in the world and all the other countries, and then to show the world that I can compete at that high level and be able to contribute to a USA team winning something. So that was the main focal point of going overseas.
What was it like getting to compete against different countries like Canada, Brazil, and even Mexico?
Yeah, it was great, especially some of the Canadian teams when I first started looking at them, like Pat Anderson, like seeing him when I was growing up. Actually, he's gone to a few like camps when I was a kid, like junior camps, and actually seeing him physically in action and what he can do, it just motivated even more to like maybe get to that stage for the USA team. So it's pretty cool to actually get the chance to actually play against those other countries, especially Canada, on a regular basis, to kind of prove your worth.
How does it feel to have Paralympian behind your last name and add PLY?
Oh, it's amazing. Like I said before, I have it as a high regard in terms of making the Paralympic because it only happens every 4 years. So you never know what's going to happen. It's always a chance that you're missing out because of the injury or anything that comes up, life event that comes up, and you're not able to get a chance to. And those type of chances don't come very regularly to make a national team. So that when you do make it, it's just such a high regard, and actually to make it the first time and make it again the second time, and then just to have that, those three letters behind your name, it sticks with you for life, and everyone knows that you've contributed a significant amount of your time to excelling in a sport and being an expert at that sport.
Of course, for you, what does it mean to be a U.S. wheelchair basketball athlete?
I just think just being a basketball player in general in the U.S. is just a high regard. I feel like the NBA in general is viewed like globally all over the place. So I feel like just basketball in general, and then being a wheelchair basketball, it just ties into it as well. I think like basketball is one of the top sports in like globally. So I just felt like being known as a basketball player. It's just such a great honor, great regards to me personally that I just always cherish that. I always keep that close to heart. So
How's it been like obviously working with the NBA's organization, the Golden State Warriors, and bringing awareness?
it's always important to bring awareness. I've progressively saw how it's changed over the years, starting with Lundy. I would say they kind of kickstarted that whole awareness project of being able to kind of get the word out more, having people have access to watch the Paralympics more, especially these past two Olympics, Rio and Tokyo. Like it was streamed on the TV, live games, and even replayed games. Like I've never heard so many times that I've had family members, friends, and been at a bar and like actually watching me play live or even a replay game from those two Paralympics. So it's just very, very cool to actually see that change and that progression over time.
What's that like obviously working with the Golden State Warriors?
Great organization. I know I'm working with a nonprofit in the Bay Area that kind of works closely with the Golden State Warriors. Besides just being a part of the Road Warriors Golden State team, so it's just amazing being established and also a part of a champion winning brand here in the Bay Area. So I'm very, very happy, very, very excited to continue that connection, continue to grow that a network with the Golden State Warriors.
What was that feeling like the first time you saw the Argonauts symbols and you got to stand next to them?
Just amazing, amazing, amazing feeling. Just it holds and keeps you grounded, like how much you sacrifice, how much you put in to get to that point to be able to represent your country and wear those letters. So
How is that feeling like receiving two Paralympic rings and having the US symbol and the Argonauts symbol on them?
yeah, it's just amazing to accomplish that and then actually have something to show for it. All the whole work you put in, all the time, all the sacrifice, just everything, blood, sweat, tears, everything that you put into it. This sport, it just most sports in general, like when you play at a high level, you put everything into it to get the maximum out of like your potential out of you, out of your team, out of whatever to get to that main goal, and that's winning at the end of the season, at the end of the tournament. So it's just been an amazing, amazing all time, amazing, amazing feeling.
How is that feeling like the first time you got to put on the Paralympic medals around your neck?
First thing I thought was way heavier than I thought it would be for sure. I still like pick them up occasionally, just like I understand how heavy, like how why they made it so heavy. I can only imagine like some of these like individual sports that like they have like 8, 10 medals and they wear them all at the same time. How heavy that can be because the medals are significantly heavy. So that would be like the first thing that I noticed after wearing one.
What has it been like getting to play with some of your teammates?
It's always fun playing with them. I know we always joke there's always fun playing against each other, but it's amazing when we actually get together and be able to play all together. We just know each other so well, we complement each other so well, and that's the thing that you need to do. You got to find teams that works well together. You can always find individual players that are all stars, superstars, but if you don't have them work as a team, as a unit, you're not gonna accomplish your goal. And I felt like the past two Paralympics, our teams were that. Like we bought into the game plan of the coach. We bought into that one goal, not just individual goals. So it just always amazing, amazing feeling, all amazing time hanging out with those guys.
Who are some of the players that you look up to in the wheelchair basketball community?
Basically all the guys that I played with. So that'd be Matt Scott, Steve, Jake, all the guys from the past two Paralympics I was a part of, and then a few international players I played with or against before, like playing against Pat all the time, playing against Terry Bywater, playing against Gaz, Chaudhry, playing against all those top level athletes. It's just, there's so many out there that I had a chance to play against, play with, and build those, networks and those connections with.
Who are some of the influential people in your career that have shaped you into the person that you are today?
I would say all the coaches from day one to, all the way into college and national team. Coaches make everything. If you don't have a good coach from the beginning, like helping you build that foundation, I feel like it takes you longer down the road to kind of get to that top level peak. So I was very fortunate to have a great junior coach with Miles Thompson, who coached collegiate with the University of Alabama, who coached a national team with the women in Great Britain, and then go to college and play for Mike Frogley, who was a coach with the Canadian national team, and his national team that won so many gold medals. So I just had privilege, and then of course my national team coach Ron Lonkins. I just had a very, very privileged opportunity to play for a lot of top level coaches that kind of helped me improve my game over time.
Of course, while at the Paralympics, was there ever a moment in your career that was like, oh my God, I made it to the Paralympics. I'm living out my dream?
I would say just landing there and then getting to the village and then taking in the village day one. And then, of course, that very first game of kickoff of the Paralympics, I would say would be the wow moments. It's like, okay, I'm finally here. Now it's time to actually put in all the show all the hard work I put in to get there to help the team accomplish the goal in the end.
Of course, for my listeners that don't know, how do you play wheelchair basketball and what equipment do you need for wheelchair basketball?
So of course you need a wheelchair. That's the main focal point thing you need. But just you need great strapping, like click straps, or you need basically a great setup in your chair. Like I've always tell people, like your chairs are like your shoes. If you have like loose shoes, if you're a able-bodied player, or you have like too big of shoes or too small of shoes, you're not going to perform well. So you have to make sure that you have a chair that fits you perfectly. Get measured, try out different things, try out things that you like or want to try to see if you like it, and then find that kind of setup that you love and maximize your potential, and then stick with it. And then that's the main thing. Like if you have a good chair, I feel like it'll take you places.
What was that feeling like getting to compete at the Paralympics and dribble the ball at the Paralympics at the biggest stage?
I would definitely say I was definitely nervous at the beginning for sure, especially having fans representing your country, having those letters across your chest. In the very first game, I was definitely nervous. I think I missed my first shot, but then afterwards, I calmed down. I knew like what I can do, what I can bring to the team, and then I was able to settle down and settle into the game.
Was that like obviously getting to meet your fans and having them ask for your autographs and photos?
It's very, very cool. It helped me a lot playing overseas because the fan base playing in Europe is amazing, especially the two teams that I played for overseas. The fan base that they had for those two teams were amazing. Like the fans loved us while we were there. After every game, they always wanted autographs. It could be the same people. They want autographs after each game. So it was just very, very cool to kind of get to that level, kind of like the NBA players, like with people and their fans having to want their autographs all the time. So it was very, very cool to get to there and be able to be a part of that.
How was that first feeling like getting to add PLY to your autograph?
Very, very cool. Like as soon as they said that, oh yeah, you could put PLY, I jumped on it immediately because that's one of those things that stick with you for life. And, like they can't take it away from you. You're always going to be, known as a Paralympic Olympian. And there's nothing that anyone can do to kind of take that away from you. It just kind of, cements you in time, as being a Paralympian, being able to represent your team and represent your country at a global stage.
What are some of your future plans in the sport of wheelchair basketball?
As of right now, I am still competing. I am still trying out for making the team for Paris. And then hopefully our team qualifies and makes it for Paris this summer and then go to Paris, hopefully, accomplish another goal. Got to work really, really hard to do it again for the third time. But, that's what you have to do. You have to have high goals and push towards those. And then after Paris, I don't know. I know the Paralympics is going to be in LA. It's going to be stateside, especially if I'm still in the Bay Area. It's real close. But I am getting older. Family is, pushing me and pulling me more towards spending more time with them. So I don't know for sure after Paris what I'm going to do for the national team.
Of course, what is that feeling going to feel like, obviously getting to play in Paris, and then obviously if you choose to get to play in the LA area?
Yeah, always amazing to make a Paralympic team. I've been to Paris before, and it's an amazing city. I will love to go again and represent my country in Paris. I know they're going to do a really, really good job. They've already, kick-started some of the promotional stuff, some of the organizational stuff that they're going to be doing and hosting. So if we get the chance to make it with the national team and qualify it, I'm definitely going to be super excited for that. For LA, it would be cool to be stateside and be able to have more of a fan base rooting for you on the US side. So it's still up in the air. I don't know for sure if I'm going to commit fully to LA, but we'll see and play it day by day.
What advice would you give those college athletes that are looking to play wheelchair basketball?
I would say stick with college ball as much as you can, get an education, get all those fundamental foundational techniques that you need, because that's what you're going to take further along on your career. Those are the times that you get those fundamentals that you can kind of build on. And then after that, then you can look to maybe go overseas, maybe test how much you improve, and then continue to improve playing against and playing with some of the best players in the world.
What advice would you give those players looking to play professionally in wheelchair basketball overseas?
I would say if you're looking to start your efforts to go overseas, I would say look at the IWF .org, I think, webpage, and they should have an area there that you can actually submit or like add, basically kind of like your professional basketball professional, I guess, portfolio, like a videos, clips, whatever, that other teams over there can like see and go on and look, and hopefully be able to pick up a team and go overseas.
What advice would you give those future Paralympians that are looking to compete and represent the country, whether it's Team USA or Team Canada?
I would say just keep striving to it. Even if you fail and don't make it the first couple times, it's not over. As long as you keep doing what you need to do, fine tuning your game, fine tuning the things that you can control, then you will eventually make it there. I know for a fact that I know if a lot of people retire, then oh yeah, you just kind of roll into it. But it's never the case all the time that you can just roll into it. You never know who else is coming up. They're working harder and might still take those opportunities away from you. So keep grinding out, keep working out, even if like previous people are retiring, and you think you're just going to get a spot like that. That's again, it's never always that easy. There's always other people that potentially might be more hungry than you are. So you got to keep grinding, keep working at it.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
So on Instagram, you can find me at B_Bell1308. And that was where I mainly am. I'm on Facebook too. I think it should be B_Bell1308 as well, or you can just look me up at Brian Bell, either or. But I'm mainly on Instagram if you want to connect with me.
Thank you again, Brian Bell, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with the Team USA Paralympic Wheelchair Basketball.
Thank you. I appreciate the time, Brandon.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Brian Bell, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.